Hello friends, welcome to part 4 of the React Redux series, and in this part we will start with the concept of middleware. Means we'll learn the concept of middleware in this part. So what are actually middleware? Middlewares are actually, it's a suggested way to extend Redux with custom functionality, okay, and it provides third party point between dispatching an action and the moment it reaches the reducer. So it's actually, it sits between the action and the reducer. Use middleware for logging, crash reporting, performing asynchronous. This is a very important thing, performing asynchronous tasks, and we'll see soon see how. Because if you want to do an API call using Redux, and which is a very good use case of Redux, you'll see that we'll do it through middleware. So where does it sit? It sits somewhere between action creator and the reducer. So if I show you this, so it sits here it sits okay, so before reaching the reducer. So let's go ahead, and what we are going to do, we are going to install a simple reducer first, this middleware first, which is known as Redux Logger. So what does that do? Redux Logger, it logs the states of Redux, okay. So, and by that we will learn how to use the reducer, this middleware, okay. So I have copied it, and that, let me go back, paste it. Is the paste not happening? Okay, no problem. npm I Redux. So we have package.json also in this directory, so I can do it. It's a small package, it just got installed, okay. So now let us go back here, and the top will go const Redux Logger equal to require Redux Logger, okay. So this is the statement which you are going to use, and then let me come here, const apply middleware equal to Redux dot apply middleware we have to do, okay. So after that, const logger equal to Redux Logger, which we have just created, Redux Logger not create logger. So this is the function which we have imported, you might have guessed, so that's why it came. Let me be a bit consistent here. So you can use this or you cannot use that, it is up to you. Semicolons in JavaScript, so let it be consistent. Sometime I use, sometime I don't use, okay. So apply middleware we have done, logger we have calling. Now after that we'll use this middleware, okay. So where we have to use it? So we have to use it in the store, okay. So where it is calling the root reducer. So here, comma, apply middleware and logger. Apply middleware, this function which Redux gave us, and this logger which we have created, okay. So this is how you have to use. Now what I am going to do, I am going to remove actually this unsubscribe this console which get fired every time when we do a dispatch, okay. Why I am removing it? Because we are getting that functionality from our Redux Logger, okay. So like this I will do, and save it. Now again I'll do node index, and if okay, I have some error. Oh, one more. I'm always having some error. Okay, so this is how it will run. Means it will show the initial state. See, the initial state is this, then the action by egg, at what time it happened in the previous state, what is the action, what is the next state. It is giving 99 is the next state. Then after that the action again happened at this. See, this is after millisecond, whatever it is there. After that again, because we have 2 by x, so previous state, action, next state. So it will give, it is a very nice way. The next better way is to have that our Redux dev tool, but this is something which is similar to that. Okay, so just the thing was that how to use the middleware, I want to tell you that. So we are not going into detail into completely there how it, what it is, but you understood what it is. Next state, previous state, and action it gives. So now what we are going to learn, we are going to learn the async action. So what we have done till now is synchronous action. So in the real world application we do a lot of API calls. So now these actions are asynchronous, so it involves getting data from the server, and it takes 1 or 2 seconds at least, that much. Even means the latency is there. So in that time, even in a React application you need to do something. Means either in a class based application you will do, in component did update will catch it. Means it takes time. So for that in the complete Redux lifecycle we have to change that complete Redux lifecycle. So and why this asynchronous nature is there, so you can learn it from my earlier this YouTube video, which is known as this asynchronous JS crash course, callback, promises, and async code, where I discuss this in detail. Okay, so you can do this. Again, I have a complete vanilla JavaScript course. You should do it. It's better to do it before coming to React and Redux. Okay, so let me go back, and now let's do it with an example, so it will be better to do it. So we'll do the API call and all. So for this we will create a new file known as async actions.js. I have created. Okay, now as usual const any tn state equal to loading is false, users are like this, error is like this. Okay, so const so the initial state we have given, it has got 3 initial state: loading, use, which is an array, and error. Okay, so now we will create the variables. So fetch user so 3 states will we have: fetch users request, fetch users success, fetch users not error, failure. So I copied all of them, and now we will create our action creator. Okay, so let's do that. Const fetch user request equal to like this, and return. So fetch user request is still return. So we're creating the action creator. Type is fetch users request. So we are going to have like this, two more, fetch, let it be users, let it be users, let it be users request, then it will be success, and this one will be failure. So three action creators. Now we will do our reducer function. Okay, so in this case we are not doing that combined reducer and all, we are doing a simple reducer. Const reducer equal to state. So these are default parameters which I am using. So as I have already told that we use a lot of ES6 concepts here. Action, switch, action dot type, case, fetch users request, return, dot state, and loading is true. So when we are going to send the request, so then the loading, some loading spinner you can show, so loading is true. Okay, so we are going to do an API call, and this is a complete state which contains three things. So only update the loading, rest of the state whatever it is, copy is added. So it is, this statement means that, as I have already told earlier. So this is first thing, then let me come here, yes, okay, I have to manually do it. Okay, the second one will be this success. Okay, success, and when it is a success, means the API call is a success, then what we are going to do, then we are going to actually change all of the three. So that's why we are not going to take dot state, but we'll remove it. So loading will be false. Okay, comma, users, we are going, that users array, empty array is there, this empty array. So users empty array will become action dot payload, and error will be empty string. Similarly, we'll have for your failure, I don't know what happened. Okay, okay, so the loading will be false again, because failure also loading will be false, but what this will be empty as it is, this will be empty and the error will be action.payload. Okay, so let me save it till now. And now we have still not used our Redux. So const Redux equal to require Redux const create store equal to Redux dot create a store. Okay, so this is done, and then we have to create the store with reducer as with the reducer. So we will come down and const store equal to create store and reducer. Okay, and then for API call we need for API call we need something known as Axios. It's a very good library for because when we do API call it returns a promise, so we need something. So we can use Axios or the inbuilt fetch, but we'll use Axios because this is how most people nowadays work, means Axios, and it's a very cool library. And the other thing is that we have to use a middleware Redux thunk. Okay, because it is used to we have to make the action an async action creator, so we'll see it soon. So let us install both the dependencies with npm I Axios and Redux thunk. I spelled it correctly. Okay, both of them are been installed. How can we know that both of them are installed? See, this dependency array got to increase. Axios, Redux Logger, we have this installed in the previous video. So and Redux thunk, Redux thunk and Axios, these two got installed. Okay, now so let us go back. Now as with the previous Redux Logger, we have to include it also, this Redux thunk. So what we are going to do, just like here, we have to have this middleware. Okay, apply middleware const thunk middleware equal to require Redux thunk. We have to use some, after this we have to use dot default. We have to use const Axios equal to require. So we are using this require thing because this is how it is basically node application, anything, because we have doing it through package.json. So okay, so instead of import, just in a React application we have import, here we have require. So if someone knows node, they know this thing. Okay, so then after that I'll come to the end, and then okay, so the reducer, and as usual, as we have done it here in the apply middleware, we have to apply the middleware. Okay, so comma apply middleware thunk middleware. Okay, the variable which we have created to use the thunk. Okay, so I have done till here. Now we will make the API call, and for that let us go back and we'll have a now we will have a fetch users. Okay, So why should we create it? Yeah, let us create it after the reducer. It is a good place to create. Const fetch users, we are doing an arrow function. So here we have to create a return function. So we are creating our own dispatch function. Till the time we have not created that. So return function dispatch. Okay, dispatch. Now from here we will dispatch this fetch users request. So when we dispatch this fetch users request, this goes through the reducers. Okay, so dispatch fetch users request, then axios dot get. So which endpoint are we going to get? So there is a JSON placeholder. If we go to the JSON placeholder, and this is known as the fake API endpoint. Actually it's not fake, it gives us the data when you hit some of the endpoint. So which endpoint we are going to use? We are going to use this users endpoint. So if I click here, so it is not showing correctly. So yeah, if I go to raw data, see what it is giving me. It is giving me an array of object of 10 users. So we are going to get this. Okay, so this is my endpoint. Let me copy this. Let me come back. Get, yeah, there are get requests, there are post requests. So get requests when you get some data from the some API, some endpoint. So this is how most of the internet works. When you go to a Facebook, there is a get request to get all of your posts. When you write something and click on post, there is a post request. So this is how all of the internet works. Okay, so axios.get dot then response like this, const users equal to response. So we are using the dot then thing. So there is two ways to use it, dot then or async await. So this is also equally good, this. So a response will get response dot data dot map. So we generally get in a response data, then we are going to map it, and user dot name. So we are only taking the name from there. So user dot name we will take from there. Okay, and then we are again going to dispatch, and this time we are going to dispatch. See, fetch users we dispatch first time. So what fetch users will do, it will go there and it will dispatch this, loading through sort of a spinner. We can show a sort of a spinner there, and then after that we are dispatching this fetch user success. Okay, when our API request has been done, and fetch user success requires some parameter which is users. Okay, so this and that users will come in action dot payload. See, this action is there, action dot payload. Okay, so this is how we did it. And now there will be another case of catch error, and again we are going to dispatch something. And you might have know, if the error is there, we are going to dispatch this fetch users failure. And we are not going to give users, we are going to give error dot message. We get this thing, error dot message. So let me save it. now we are going to do again that store dot subscribe. So as I have told earlier, the component also subscribe to all the things. So in a React Redux application, you'll see all of this in a different files. So this console log store dot get state. That state, it gives us the state at that time. Okay, and then store dot dispatch, we have to dispatch this fetch users, and it in turn will dispatch all these things by fetch users request and all those things. Just we have seen that now. Right now it's okay. So okay, so I have saved it, but how to run it? And we have to run it by node async action dot js. We should give, I think we don't have to give this. Okay, users error, so it is giving me error. Do we have to give this? No. So true. So I think something is not okay here. So what is not okay? So I got my issue. What was the issue? And it is a very big issue actually. And so I'm not passing the users itself here. So here in the success, I will pass the users, and there will be a payload. Even I think the payload was here itself, but see, info or something. So here, and that is not a keyword, but generally it is preferred in Redux React and React also, React Redux. So have a payload to get this term type, and this term as a payload as users, and in this case it will be error, and again the payload as error. Okay, so let me save now, and not this, yeah, this, let me, yeah. So now node async action, nodding true. Hello friends, so I got another error which was there. So see the case, so I was copying pasting everything, so this was also fetch user success. So I will copy it back, fetch user failure. Now let me open and node async away. Yeah, we are getting that bad everything as well, because so it is going here, and then it is dispatching this fetch users, getting that API call done, and then going to this fetch users success. And let us also see the case here. What will happen if I give something wrong like this? Okay, so I've given a wrong API endpoint. There is no API endpoint like that. Okay, so now if I run, so error, request failed with status code 404. So when we hit something on the server, means API endpoint, there are some status code. So 404 is a error status code. Okay, so it was an error. Let me do it back, save it, and it will be back to the normal. So this completes our part 4. See you soon in part 5.